So I'm outside the library right now, and I've been trying to write this fucking essay for over an hour now, and I just can't. Like, I've barely done anything. I can't focus. I can't. I'm just really sick of this now. I'm so sick of not being able to do anything. I think I'm gonna drop out of uni.
So my name is Imogen. I'm a first year medical student. I'm 19 years old and I'm 99% certain I have ADHD. So ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. It's basically, I think the best way to describe it is like having 20 computer tabs open in your brain, all of them working simultaneously, and you can't ever stop them or close them down. It's like your brain gets really jumbled. There's so much going on at the same time. You're constantly like darting around, seeing everything around you, forgetting things all the time. That's a big thing. Yeah, looking back, very clearly a case of childhood ADHD. I couldn't sit still. I was always fidgeting, always bouncing off the walls. So much energy. It was very hyperactive. I found it very hard to make friends, actually, because no one wanted to be around me because I was so annoying, basically. I think there's that stigma that, I don't know if it's an increased awareness or if it's an increased number of cases, but there are a lot more people coming up with ADD or ADHD now. And so a lot of people think it's like being, I don't know about overdiagnosed, but over-tested. Anyone who's like a bit hyperactive, people will be like, oh, I think you have ADHD. And it's not, it's so much more than that. But I feel like when I'm trying to explain it to people, it's really hard to explain. And I think they just think I'm, you know, just trying to find excuses for, you know, not doing my work, not focusing, not paying attention. And it's not an excuse, like I really try.
Trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. I feel like I'm gonna fail med school, and I don't want to fail med school, and I work hard. I do work hard. I don't know how I got this far without help, but I did. I just somehow did, and now it feels like I'm beyond that point where I can do it by myself, but it takes so long before you can get any help. I just don't know how I'm gonna keep doing things. I feel like a failure constantly because I can't do anything. Don't know what to do.
So the process for diagnosis is really long and frustrating. So I have to see my GP, and then he'll sort of evaluate me for 5 or 10 minutes. If he believes I have ADHD or I might have ADHD or ADD, he can then refer me to a psychiatrist who'll do a proper evaluation. If the psychiatrist believes I might have ADD or ADHD, they can then refer me to the neurobehavioral unit, and then they will do loads of like tests and questionnaires and all diagnostic tools, and then hopefully you get your official medical diagnosis, and then back to the GP with that for medication if I need it.
So it's pretty loud, but I'm on my way to the GP. I'm so nervous. I think my two main fears are either that they're not going to believe me and they're going to be like, get over it, go do some meditation, and they're not going to validate it at all, or they tell me that there's nothing that can be done and I just have to live with it, because I don't know if I can.
So I have PTSD, that's all diagnosed and everything. Definitely sort of plays a part in all my ADHD symptoms. Basically, I went through some quite horrific trauma as a child. It causes me to sort of lose sense of reality sometimes. So I can be fine for a few weeks, and then suddenly a laugh or a smell, or even just with ADHD, my thoughts constantly just coming up out of everywhere. Just a thought will pop into my head and everything hits you and you relive the moment, you're not sure what's happening. It's a panic attack mixed with like a complete loss of reality, while focusing on one specific event. It's really hard to snap out of. ADHD symptoms don't help with that as well, because I'm trying to like clear my mind and focus and get out of it, but I can't clear my mind and focus. So I just end up in this sort of like loop. And it's unfortunately, if someone's not there with me, it can take hours to come out of. So, I just got back from the doctors. But I'm just feeling really frustrated. Because he was kind of dismissive already. Like, he was fine. He was like, yeah, no, these... He was like, well, I mean, everything you're saying is what normal people experience in their lives anyway. And I was like, I know, but... You can tell he said as well, he was like, well, the fact that you made it into med school shows me that, you know, you are clearly capable of concentrating, so... So I found a support group in the area, which I did not know that there was, called ADHD Aware. And it's like, got like peer drop-in sessions, friends and family sessions. And yeah, it's all about helping with adult ADHD, which is... I don't know, I haven't ever really seen anything like this before. They have all these things about like what is ADHD, what causes ADHD, the symptoms, neurodiversity, mental health, getting a diagnosis, treatment options. This is like everything I've needed.
So, this is ADHD Aware. So we are an organization in Brighton. It's volunteer-based, so all of us are volunteer, and we offer informal support to people with ADHD. I felt obviously very different. Being inattentive, my problem was like I would do things and not realize what I was really doing. Like I would be driving and then suddenly, oh my gosh, where am I? Hey, you can just imagine how dangerous that can be. So, or like, as I always misplace my purse, my keys, lose my everything, sit on my glasses, and this obviously affects my relationships a lot.
Why do you think adult ADHD isn't like ever really spoken about?
Well, I hope and I can see that slowly, I think we're getting there. Yeah. Meaning that, for example, this evening, we have some members. A lady, she has been diagnosed in her 52. I've been diagnosed that I was over 30 years old. And that's why when you come in here, you feel relieved. The first time I came to those meetings back in 2015, you hear people talking about ADHD and suddenly you no longer feel lonely.
So I don't have a proper diagnosis, but I got like an informal diagnosis from the School of Psychology. And when I sent that to my mum, I was like, look, like this is real. She suddenly just completely changed.
Nowadays, if you call the neurobehavioral clinic in Brighton, the time is 24 months. 24 months is a lot. I mean, with the diagnosis, it can be very helpful. You can literally, everything start making sense. You put everything in place, and then obviously you reframe all your life, even looking back, and you say, oh, that's why. But once you know, you name it, you know, okay, now there is something I can do for it.
ADHD, it's reading the same line in a page again and again and again and again, tearing your hair out, screaming at yourself, trying to focus, just trying to read this one line. It's feeling exhausted every single day because your brain just won't shut up. I'm shattered constantly because I never feel relaxed because of it. I feel constantly
jittery. I feel like I'm constantly having to see everything around me, and I just want to be able to chill. I just want to be able to calm down.